everybody and welcome back. It's time to have an honest and frank conversation about hair. You've all been on my hair care journey, the ups and downs, the highs and lows of me suffering from fine, delicate, damaged hair. And it's something that's happened increasingly as I've got older, so I thought I would invite a friend on to get a different perspective. At some point, I'm going to join Ruth Crilly on Zoom, so forgive me if it goes slightly sort of wobbly, in the sense that the Zoom quality is not as good as this is here, you and I, filmed in high res. But I thought what we would do is get together and talk about our individual hair journeys. We've got very similar hair. Ruth's actually 18 years younger than me, but she's been on her hormonal roller coaster. She has two, or she did at one point have two children under two, so she knows what it's like to have her hair go through the trials and tribulations of a hormonal roller coaster. I've been through the menopause and come out the other side. So what we thought we'd sit and do is have a chat about our individual hair journeys and how our hair has changed over the years, because some of the things that happen to our hair we have no control of. It could be a result of getting older, it could be a result of having children, it could be the result of an internal hormonal roller coaster, it could be illness, it could be stress, it could be a whole host of things. And then what we're going to do, because this video is sponsored by Dove, is we're going to talk about our favourite Dove products. For me, you'll not be surprised to hear it's the intensive repair range, but let's find out what Ruth likes. We're going to join her by Zoom.
Right, this is interesting. Me, my goggles, so I can see everything. So I've done many a Zoom, but I've never actually hosted and recorded one. So I've just invited Ruth. Fingers crossed to get it.
Yay!
Your hair is looking beautiful.
You know what? I had my colour done. God, was it 2 weeks ago now? Yeah.
Have you gone shorter as well?
I've gone a little bit shorter. Yeah, it was going a bit tatty on the ends. So I've had a bit of a hair overhaul.
I feel your hair is the epitome of the I just woke up with it hair. I feel like that's your embodiment of your style.
Do you know what? If I don't do anything to it though, it looks a bit scrappy. So today I've sort of blow dried it and then I just mess it up a bit again. I'm useless at doing my hair, but I have to do something to it if I'm going to be filming, because it's just mad.
What actually is your routine for your hair then?
Okay, so shampoo
it, yeah.
Wash it. However, that bit is the most important part, because obviously, like you, I try loads of different products and I'm really dry on the ends. So I'm always looking for the shampoo can't strip and the conditioner, because it's also fine but dry. So it's really crucial for those products to be right. So they've got to be really nourishing, but no residue, because otherwise it's just like that.
I said in my intro before we joined this Zoom that I feel like you've got my hair. You're 18 years younger than me, and I feel like your hair is exactly where I was 18 years ago. So I would say fine, but lots of it. Was really blonde as a child and now has gone a little bit mousy. So you have your colour to brighten it up. Oh, okay. Wait till you're grey, Ruth. But then as I've got older, I've got greyer. And it's very interesting because a lot of people talk about how hair becomes thinner and finer as you get older. It hasn't done that to me, but it's just made my hair more sensitive to everything. So now I can't have too much colour and it grows a little bit less fast and it's much more prone to damage and frizziness and all that sort of stuff. So although I've got as much hair, for example, all of my followers will know I had a tiny bit of balayage put through the front to give me those blonde bits you've got, and it all broke off.
Really?
Yeah, I had 2 lots of balayage last July, last October, and then by December I couldn't work out why I had all these weird little, almost like, I bet when you've had a baby, right, you've had this.
Yeah, a mane of little wispy bits around the front.
And I just couldn't work out what it was. And I worked out that basically the colour I could have had when I was your age, I simply can't have it anymore. That's what I mean by sensitive. So it's a sort of a misnomer, isn't it? But my hair has actually become more delicate, weak, pathetic, wimpy, annoying, floofy, frizzy, and just, yeah.
I love it when you tell me these things. I feel like I've got this to look forward to, Nadine.
Well, do you know, it's really interesting because I feel like I'm giving you a little peephole into what your life's going to be like in 18 years' time. But the good news is that I feel like you're a little bit prepared, because when you had 2 under 2, you knew what it was like when your hormones affected your hair.
Having 2 quite close together just ravaged everything. Body, hair,
mind,
soul. I mean, like, it just left me a bit of a husk. I have to say, it's only been in the last, I'd say, 3 months that I've started to get back into how I feel. I mean, nowhere near how I was before, but in terms of just the way that I used to look after myself, because I was always quite conscious about, actually I wasn't conscious about what I ate because I used to drink so much wine before I had kids, but just a bit more conscious about, I don't know, like having a routine and not eating like loads of sweets all day long, just sculling them down because I'm editing at the computer, and you know, and my hair and my skin, everything just feels a little bit more on an even keel. But that's like a full 5, almost 6, no, it is actually 6 years of complete time out when I didn't, you know, I never knew what the hell.
So Angelica is 6 and Ted is?
She's going to be 6 in June.
And
so I'm tagging pregnancy onto that as well with her. So yeah, it will be this September, it will be 7 years since I got pregnant with Angelica.
Yeah. So essentially it was 6 years of you being on this emotional hormonal roller coaster.
Yeah, just because I think when they're little, there was just, I mean, even now, there was just no time to do anything for myself. If I didn't have to work during the day, then I think that I could have that me time that, you know, everyone talks about. But as it stands, I just have to sort of factor it in. So I can't have things that take ages. It's just choosing clever products.
So your Dove Colour Care, this one, and
yeah.
I'm Dove Intensive Repair because I feel like my
are you? And
I think what I like about the products are, I feel like my hair and shampoo and conditioner are this, I feel about the same way that I think about my cleanser and my moisturiser. So I need my cleanser to gently cleanse without stripping, because I don't want to strip my hair, because if I strip my hair, it'll go even more floofy and fine and fly away. And then I want my moisturiser to do that thing that you and I are always talking about, moisturisers. I want it to hydrate the ends of my hair without weighing down and making my scalp greasy. And for me, the intensive repair is the high street hero, because so many really good intensive products are out there, but they cost a fortune. They're all salon, or they're super high end, or they're available from department stores. And if you're washing your hair as often as I do, which, I mean, I could technically wash my hair every day to refresh it, but probably 3 times a week. I don't want anything that's going to break the bank either.
I mean, it's nice for every once in a while, but I don't want to have to towel dry my hair, get out a pot of something, apply it, wrap my head in a towel, sit somewhere warm, leave it on for 4 hours, and then have to get in the bloody shower again to rinse it off. But it's like you have to shower twice. So for me, it has to work quickly. Fast, everyday thing, or you know, every few days. It needs to be fast acting.
And I think it's really interesting, because if you think about your shampoo and conditioner in the same way that you think of a gentle cleanser and a moisturiser, they're just a staple part of your routine, so that when you come to colour your hair, or when you come to style your hair or heat style it, or when you do a shoot or something, your hair's in the best condition it can be, because you've done those absolute basics, which are like the building blocks of good hair.
I'm not paranoid about my colour being stripped. I just don't want it to go dull. You know,
your hair is in much better condition than mine, because it is, you know, I've got 18 years of extra wear and tear on this. So I feel like Colour Care, or even the Daily Moisture, would be perfect for you. And the Daily Moisture is a crossover with me, but for me, the Intensive Repair just has what I need for hair that, if you look at your hair, if you hold your hair out, your hair is just so much shinier than mine. My surface cuticle is just so much more weak and prone to damage, and that's what intensive repair does. So it really basically penetrates the hair and repairs that surface cuticle to give you more shine and control. Whereas your Colour Care is about not overstripping your hair and taking out the colour molecules that have been put in. But most modern conditioners, including the Dove ones, they're water activated, so you put them on your hair, and then the minute the hair gets super wet when you're rinsing it off, that's when they cleverly just literally attach to the most damaged bits. So they don't need to go onto the scalp, onto the top. They just need to go onto the ends. And I'm like you, I hate a floofy, split, damaged end. I want my ends to be quite blunt and to be quite choppy.
I just want them to be to feel sort of heavy and silky, but not greasy. But I mean, I started having highlights through a cap. I think I must have been 15 or 16. Do you remember the rubber condom and the crochet hook?
Oh, painful!
So painful.
If they tried to do that on me now, they'd pull the cap off and the hair would just come with it. Yeah.
I mean,
So you
some
do
places probably still do it.
You do feel now that the colour is still in some way damaging your hair, do you?
Yeah. I got my first grey hair.
I can't believe you're only just going grey. I started going grey when I was 26.
Trying to think when my mum did. I think don't you take after your mum with stuff, don't you?
You do.
I think my mum was sort of mid to late 40s.
What did you do? Did you pluck it or leave it?
It's still in there. I didn't pluck it out. Can you see it anywhere?
No, you really can't, Ruth. Do you use conditioner all over your hair or just on the ends?
Just on the ends. But I have to say that I should probably take it a bit further up, because it still splits here. You know, I still get those frizzy bits up near the top because it's still coloured up there.
Coloured, yeah.
So I always forget, because you do sort of lengths and ends, don't you?
It's interesting. I don't put it on my scalp, but I definitely do put it sort of from here right the way down, and I make sure I get right in under there. Yeah, because that's where I'm most frizzy as well. And also, I think the advantage of the new modern technology conditioners is they can be really rich, but they won't weigh you down. I mean, intensive repair, traditionally you'd think, oh, that would be too much for fine hair, but it works brilliantly on my hair. It's like a classic, really good reparative conditioner, but it only clings to where it's needed. So it doesn't cling to the roots, it just clings to the damaged hair, which technically could be my entire head of hair, let's be honest.
I'm going to try this later on this week. I've got 3 days now until I wash it again. I'm going to try this one next.
You could always use the Colour Care shampoo and then just put the intensive repair conditioner on the mid-lengths and ends.
Yeah,
it's a bit like I can use the Daily Moisture shampoo and then use the intensive repair conditioner. I do think they're quite good. They're quite mix and matchy.
I feel like you apply your conditioner though in a very professional and methodical way, whereas I put some in my hand and I literally just go like that, like I would with shampoo. Whereas I can imagine
that noise. Can I just do that? Do you literally? So is the key to your conditioner to go? I'll remember that.
Yeah. Whereas I think that you probably coat every strand. I can imagine you're really methodical about it.
I really don't, but I do definitely make sure I have to condition my fringe because I'm trying to grow it out and it's damaged. And then I essentially just do it like this. But I don't do. The problem with me is I don't use the magic. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe that's the secret.
Maybe that's what gets me through.
Hair. Yeah.
I have no technique, but I make the noise. Nadine, you're naturally blonde though, aren't you?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm exactly the same as you. So I was white blonde as a child. I went through puberty. It went mousy. I started colouring it at home myself. I went through a Jange phase because home colourants weren't for me at the time and they weren't as good as they are now. And then I started the highlighting through the cap thing, and I've been blonde ever since. When you brush your hair or blow dry your hair, do you get the little classic break-off bits on your trousers? And I just suddenly noticed that instead of maybe like 30 or 40 broken off bits, it was just like really. And I had a blow dry just before Christmas in the same salon, and the guy was blow drying my hair, and he's French, and he went, Nadine, what is this you're doing with your hair? And I was like, what have I done with my hair? And I realized I hadn't done anything different. I've been using really good shampoos, really good conditioners. I hadn't been using heat on it. But the second balayage was just too much. And ironically, the balayage was literally just down there and through the fringe. So if you take that out of the way, my hair's in really, look, you can actually see the shine come back. My hair's in quite good condition. But the bit that actually counts that anybody sees is just like a little sort of tufty mess.
Is it more difficult to condition grey hair? Is it coarser?
It's not, well, mine hasn't gone coarser, but the texture's changed. So instead of being smooth, it tends to be slightly sort of errant and weird. So that when I have to straighten my hair, I never had to straighten my hair when I was younger. My hair was a little bit like your hair, so it sort of had a gentle wave in it and it was fine. And I actually went through a phase of having perms in the 80s, for God's sake, to get the sort of Bananarama look. And now if I wanted to, not that I would want to recreate the Bananarama look, but if I wanted to, I wouldn't need to because I've got so much more texture in my hair. And I use the word texture politely because it's floofy. It's not frizzy. It's not curly. It's not coily. It's not wavy. It's just, there are patches where it's grey because it's not grey evenly, where it's just errant.
But condition.
For me,
The
it's very interesting you say that.
The theme of the video.
Well, I think it's really
Condition.
interesting you say that, because for years I always dismissed the importance of a shampoo. And I think for years I would just use any old shampoo and I wouldn't care about it. But actually, first do no harm, in the same way that you shouldn't really use a soap on your face. Do buy the right shampoo and then team it with a conditioner, because otherwise you're just closing the stable door after the horse has bolted. So
you're starting off on the back foot, aren't you? And then you've got to sort of repair that dryness and the damage and put the moisture back in from that. And you've still got to find the extra moisture, which probably a normal conditioner is not going to do, is it?
And I think it's really interesting, because I do think modern shampoo and conditioning technology is so far advanced to what it was 20 years ago, so that you literally it will react, it will cleanse the oily bits and leave the dry ends, and then the conditioner will leave the hair that's in good condition and just cling to the ends. And that technology is amazing, and that technology wasn't available 10 or 15 years ago. So, and it needn't cost a lot of money. Like I said, the thing about Dove is, and I feel this across Dove hair care, skincare, everything, is it's one of those brands that I always say to people, you're in the supermarket, you're in the local pharmacy, you're in your local Boots or Superdrug or anything, they're the brands that you can actually rely on to create really quick, because they come from really brilliant beauty mega beasts. Companies like Unilever own so many brands, and they do share technology, and I do think you actually end up getting really high-end technology.
Well, they know what they're doing.
I mean, the thing about Dove as well that I always like, the fact that they've got you and I having this conversation, is I think it's as much about empowering women to feel comfortable in their own skin and their own hair. Even though for me, and I always say this, I would rather have a bad skin day, a bad makeup day, or even a bad clothing day rather than a bad hair day, because my hair is my Achilles heel. It really is. Yeah, it really is. It's so funny. You can tell in my videos when I'm not comfortable, and as you said, I'm continually doing this, or I'm playing with it or something like that. And I feel that for me, one of the reasons that I like Dove as a brand is because I love that conversation it has with real women about, let's make the best of you. Let's not try and change you. Let's have a conversation about how you can embrace your beauty and make the most of it for a second. Yeah. I'm going to sign off now. So thank you, Ruth Crilly. Thank you for sharing your hair.
Bye.